Journey. We hear the main motive of Journey. What does this mean? We have a rising up of the strings as we see the white orb, and suddenly, there is our avatar, alone in the sand. I read a review of Journey's soundtrack that gave it a lower score than I agree with. As I finished reading the review, I had to chuckle, because I'm all for reviewing music, and certainly there are plenty of pieces from various soundtracks, video game or otherwise, that I come to dislike or don't enjoy. This particular album, it's impossible to review. Journey has been out for 10 years now. Its original release being March 13th, 2012. The first time I played, I was caught very off guard. If you've played it, you don't need me to tell you what a profoundly isolating experience it can be until another soul joins you for a minute, 10, or 2 hours, that is. But of course, I say this as someone who likes someone by his side. But for some, that isolation isn't isolation at all, but a personal journey with solitude. Journey's soundtrack is one of these that is brilliant out of context, but when actually playing the game, it transcends what can be felt. The game relies on the atmospheric and transcendent music to tell its story, just as it needs the sand dunes, the caverns, the sky dogs, and you, the player, to experience them. Certainly, there is instrumentation here that evokes the natural world you are mysteriously thrust upon, but it leans heavy on classic orchestration, the cello being the predominant instrument of choice. I've often heard it said that the cello is actually one of the closest to the human voice, due to the register and timbre and vibrato. Maybe the cello is intended to give voice to our characters, since we can only speak in chirps and blips. I recently played through the game again, and it was such a special experience. If I'm honest with you, the game left me with more questions than answers, as it tends to, even after 6 playthroughs. Of course, I recognize that the game is likely an allegory for the journey of life and death.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The veiled beings in white, our ancestors watching over us, guiding us along the path. The other travelers we meet along the way, companions we may meet for a season, with us for just a moment in time, or for an eternity, as we ascend up the mountain together. That same review I read suggested there wasn't a through motive in Journey. And to that, I would say that I think we've experienced 2 different games and soundtracks. The music in this game is profoundly contemplative, at times almost meditative. The main cello motive gets tossed around quite frequently between instruments, and as I listened to it, I wondered to myself, what is this motive about? Who is it for? Why is it appearing so often? What does it mean? These questions stayed with me for hours after I finished the game. And then I realized that the motive isn't a leitmotif for any character in the game, or experience had in the game. No, this motive is for us, the player. This motive is our journey. This is apparent to me because the first thing we hear is nonsense. We hear the cello, the harp, the cello trading the main melody to the flute. As the full orchestra ascends with the motive, we are instantly greeted with the sensation that this will be no ordinary experience. This anguished, pained sound of quiet revelation and understanding. It's powerful in its piangendo, or crying, quality. But Journey isn't really about melody, despite most of the tracks from the game featuring some version of the main motive playing throughout each piece. No, this is a soundscape that takes the motive on a journey of its own. The motive comes and goes and comes and goes and vanishes without warning, only to be replaced by the chanting of voices in a piece, say, like The Call. The motive dancing with profound atmosphere created by almost otherworldly instrumentation. The vastness of the desert, the call of the mountain, the descent into underground caverns, the joyful dance of Road of Trials as we scamper and dance and move with the sand. Quickly, our melody gently being tossed to the side by the piccolo briefly, before we move back to rhythmic dancing of drums and cello. The terror the drums provide in the descent, the first moment in this journey that we are faced with danger and a chance to lose everything we've worked so hard to achieve before this moment. We feel that we are haunted in the dissonance here and the drum pattern. We hear and feel the emptiness of the cave here. Danger at every corner. Not dissimilar to how we may feel during Nadir. Cacophonous tremolo in the strings and percussion, as suddenly we are thrust into apotheosis, the highest point of development in something, culmination or climax, ascension and arrival. The melody is back. We spin and flit in the sky, carried higher and higher with the rhythm in the strings, as the lower strings play our melody. in unison. We are flying. Our journey comes to an end. This is one of 3 tracks in the game that gives us a real sense of forward propulsion. After these somewhat meditative and still tracks, we climb towards the end, towards our shared and inescapable fate. Our motive flies alongside us and guides us, long and supportive bowings, with us each step of the way. And then we're back. We come full circle. Just as we start Journey with Nonsense and the main motive in the cello, we now end it with I Was Born for This, with the main melody in the flute and a stunning vocal rendition of that same motive. The lyrics, Stat sua quique dies, to each his day is given, in Latin from the Aeneid. Maelis me tu feran, this time that I fare from you, Old English Beowulf. Aleto men moinostos, lost is my homecoming, Greek, the Iliad. C'est pour cela que je suis né, I was born for this, and the title of the track. French, Joan of Arc. Kono michi ya, on this road, yuki hito nishi ni, goes no one. Kono michi ya, on this road, aki no kure, autumn sunset. Japanese Matsuo Basho, the most famous of Japanese haiku poets. C'est pour cela que je suis né, I was born for this. Ne me peignez pas, do not pity me. C'est pour cela que je suis né, I was born for this. Joan of Arc. This, at the very end of our journey, this is the game. This is the reason I was born for this. I was born for this. This simple 2-hour game, with its simple mechanics, lovely visuals, and stunning soundtrack, can single-handedly show us life, the journey of this life, and what we were born for. And I will always be grateful that I experienced it in this lifetime. So I go back to that review and I think to myself, how can we review something that is so profoundly human? Does it even make sense to review something like this? Well, ultimately somebody did, but I think the answer is no. Some things are better left untouched and simply appreciated. There's many more analysis and reaction videos on this channel, as well as more I played this game for the music videos like this one. Thanks a ton, and I'll talk to you later.